Hey guys, Robbie Richards here. In today's video, I'm going to walk you through a little experiment I did recently that helped me grow my Twitter following by 1,048 followers, and I did it in less than 3 hours while increasing my Twitter referral traffic by 160%. And the best part, I'm going to show you how I did it without spending a dime. And now this strategy works in any industry. I've used it in internet marketing, real estate, healthcare, marine electronics, you name it. I have implemented this same strategy in a variety of different industries, and it's worked every single time. Okay, so let's take a little closer look at some of the numbers before we actually jump into some specific tactics. So if we come over to my Twitter analytics account and we scroll over here, you'll see I started my experiment on January 13 and it ran through to February 13. I spent roughly 5 to 10 minutes a day doing the tactics that I'm going to show you in just a minute. Now, as you can see, I can't quite go back to the 13th, but the 14th, I started with 1,459 followers, and by the time I got up to February 13, which is a little bit past this point, I had over 2,500. Ended up being 1,048 new followers. So you can see, huge uptick. But the really cool thing about this is, as you can see, the interests of my followers, I managed to keep a really clean profile. So you can see marketing, entrepreneurship, SEO, leadership, advertising, all interests that I would expect to see resonating with my target audience. So not only was I able to grow my audience, but I was able to get people that I think are related to my target audience. So good stuff there. Okay, so what impact did this increase in followers actually have on my blog traffic? That's the question. So let's head over to Google Analytics and find out. Now, if we head over, you'll see up here that I've done a comparison between January 13 to February 13. That's when I ran my experiment, and compared it to the previous 30 days. Now if we scroll down, you'll see that for Twitter referral traffic, during the time period of my experiment, I was able to generate 1,521 referral visits from Twitter, compared to 586 from the 30 days previously. And that's a 160% increase in referral traffic to my blog from Twitter, which is pretty awesome. Now, I only usually publish one long-form blog post a month on my blog, and the month that I did my experiment was absolutely no different. So I really had no outliers or variables that should have skewed the results. Now, let's just say hypothetically though, that I didn't post a single piece of content to my blog post while I was doing the experiment. So I'm going to just show you what that would have still looked like. Now, if I click on Twitter here, I'm going to see that during that time period, the post that I did publish was my list post. It actually did generate quite a lot of engagement, actually 1,100 shares in a week. So it did really well, but it generated 651 visits from Twitter in that 30-day period. Okay, so let's just pretend that I didn't publish it. I'm going to go back and I'm going to subtract 651 from the total number of Twitter referral visits, which would leave me with 870 still, which is still almost 300 more than the previous 30 days, or 48% increase. So even if I didn't publish any new content, I still would have increased my Twitter referral traffic by 48% just by using this simple experiment that we are going to jump into in just a minute. Another thing I want to show you is this is actually carrying over. Like yesterday, I still got 120 visits from Twitter. As you can see, it's by far my greatest referral source of referral traffic from social media. It's probably the channel that I focus on the most. So, you know, I'm pretty happy with that. And also, Twitter is my third largest source of email subscribers behind direct and organic traffic. So I'm getting plenty of visits, and it's also converting into email subscribers for me, which is the ultimate goal in my case. Okay, so we've seen that my following grew and the amount of traffic coming to my site from Twitter increased significantly. But how did I do it without spending a single penny? I'm going to show you 3 specific tactics anyone can use in any industry to get very, very similar results. Okay, so let's first head over to Tweetbuy. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with this tool, what it allows you to do is a lot of different things, but one of the things that we will be using it for in this case is to manually follow and unfollow people. And it's a free tool to do that, so you just come in, you just log in with your Twitter account, and you will be redirected to a page that looks like this. Now, little word of advice, with this specific strategy, what you want to do is you want to limit yourself. So I recommend that you only follow a maximum of 120 people each day, and don't unfollow more than 100 people each day. If you get too carried away and start following like 500 to 1,000 people a day and unfollowing the same amount, like you could get your account flagged and suspended by Twitter. I haven't seen this happen a lot, but it's worth noting. If you stay around 100 to 120, follow, unfollow, you'll be completely fine. So just to keep that in mind. So now that we're in here, I will click. The first thing I want to do is I want to unfollow anyone that I followed the day previously who hasn't followed me back. So I'll just come over, manage Twitter, flush the unfollowers, and then it's going to pull up a list of all of the people that I have followed in the last 20, or that I have followed and haven't followed me back. I actually just did this 20 minutes ago, so I'm not going to start unfollowing them just yet because I only just followed a lot of these people, but it's very simple. I would just mass unfollow, just unfollow, unfollow, unfollow all the way down this list until the number up here read 100. And then once I had done that, I would come over to follow tweets and click at users followers, and it'll take me through to this page. And on this page, you'll have to enter the Twitter handle of someone whose audience you want to follow. Now, preferably, you want to follow well-known publications in your industry, or even some of your competitors. So as an example, in my case, I am in the internet marketing, SEO, content marketing space. So I could come over, and an example of an account that I would probably be interested in is inbound.org. A very growing in popularity. This is an online marketing forum. So these people, the people following this account, are very, very likely to have the same interests as my target audience. So all I'll do is I'll just copy their handle, and then I will come back over and just paste it right in here. Click start following, and it will bring me through to a page here, and it will show all of inbound.org's followers. Now, as I mentioned, I did this not long ago, so I won't actually go through and do it right now, but I do want to show you a couple things that I look at that are very important when you're doing this. And first one is the number of followers. Now, for me personally, I only follow accounts that have the same number of followers as I do, maybe a few more or less than I do. So in my case, I have 3,200 followers roughly. So I'm not going to follow anyone typically who has more than 5,000 followers. So anyone with 5,000 or less, I'll follow them. And I also want to make sure that they have tweeted within the last couple days, because that shows me that they are engaged. Now, if I can find people that meet both these criteria, they are roughly the same size as me in terms of Twitter followers, and they are engaged, these people are much more likely to follow me back and follow me back quickly. So once I have those metrics in mind, I'll just scroll through the list, and as you can see, the people that I've already followed, these people have the same or less number of followers, and they've tweeted within the last 2 days. So I'll just scroll through the list until this number reaches 120, and then that's it. I'm done with that. And as you can see, this only took me about 5 minutes. I did it every morning for 30 days. You add that up, that's only roughly 2.5 hours over the course of a month. And this was by far the biggest generator of new Twitter followers for me. And now I'm going to show you the next tactic that I use. So if we come over to my blog, you can see that I have a header bar along the top here that is promoting my Twitter account. Now normally I actually would have this as a link through to one of my squeeze pages or ebook pages, some type of lead generation page. my sole focus on my blog is to build my email list. That's it. You'll notice I don't have any social media icons or follow me buttons or anything anywhere. It's all email based. But for this particular experiment in this period of time, I decided to try and leverage this header bar to help accelerate the growth of my account. And the thing with this, it's super easy to do. It's free. All you do is use a tool called Soomi. So if you come over to Soomi, you'll see that you can install this. It's just you can grab this snippet of code and embed it into the head of your HTML. Or if you scroll down, if you have a WordPress website, you just click here and you download the zip file to your computer. And once you download that zip folder to your desktop or wherever you want on your computer, you will then just simply come in, log into the back end of your WordPress website, come over to plugins, and then click add new, and then you'll click upload plugin, and then you'll just select your zip folder with the plugin files in it, and then just click install and then activate the plugin. And then when you come back over to your site, you're going to see this blue crown in the top right hand corner of your site. And just click that. First, you'll actually need to enter in your name and email. Very simple, you just need to create an account. And one thing I want to talk about too is Soomi actually provides a full suite of tools that you can use, and they're free. You can see here I'm using their share app. It's helped me generate over 11,000 shares on my blog with 10 posts. Like, it's fantastic, responsive, very good. Highly recommend you check it out. But they also, if you come into the Sumo store, they also have a bunch of different tools like List Builder, it's a pop-in, Scroll Box. They have a bunch of different tools that you can use to increase social engagement, grow your email list, get some analytics and heat maps, contact forms, and then they've got some other paid features in here. But you know, great tools. A lot of these stuff you normally pay for. In our case, we'll just click Smart Bar and install that. And then once you click that, you'll see it show up here in your little Soomi account you have here. So I'll just click that and I'll just show you how to configure this. So if we click design, you'll see that there are a few different options. In this case, like if we want to have email collect, like we can set it up for that so people can enter their email in the header bar. Call to actions, I use this quite a lot. Catchy title, link through to a page where you can capture email. And then you'll notice you've got Twitter and Facebook buttons. So if we click Twitter, yeah, that's where it is. That's the one that I have. Customize your message, font, background colors, a few different things here. In behavior, you can set how often a visitor will see it once they've visited your site. You'll enter in your Twitter username. And then features here for the placement, I make it sticky so the header bar scrolls with people as they move down the site, but you can set it to not do that, or hide on scroll down and show on scroll up. So there's a few different customization settings, whatever you prefer, you can test that. Services is more for email, and then you can set some rules to show which pages it does and does not show on, as well as whether you want to show it on mobile or desktop devices. So there's a few different features. You can add some custom form HTML. So that's pretty much all there is to it. It's very simple. Once you have it installed, just use these basic settings and you'll be up and running to go. As people scroll down your website, the header bar will stick to the top of your page and they'll be able to follow you directly with one click from your website. So that's the second tactic that you can use. The third tactic I want to show you is very simple. It's all about optimizing the post conversion funnel. And by what I mean by post conversion funnel is once someone, if you're using a double opt-in, which you should be, once someone gets your confirmation email, so they enter their email, they get their confirmation email where they have to click the link. Once they click that link, they get taken through to a thank you page that will look, in my case, you guys probably recognize this design. You'll see here that I ask people to share the page where they opted in, and I also give them the link to the ebook, and then finally, I asked them to follow me on Twitter, Google+, LinkedIn, and Facebook. Now, you can just, if you really want to keep it targeted, just eliminate all the other options and just keep Twitter, so they only have one option. And the whole logic behind this is if someone's given you their email address, they're probably going to be much more likely to also follow you on Twitter if you ask them. So, you know what they say, get the traffic while it's hot. And people are proven to be much more likely to convert again right after they converted the first time. In this case, we want them to follow us on Twitter right after they give us their email address. And then, you know, that's really simple. That's all you really have to do to optimize that post-conversion funnel. A lot of people don't do that. I highly recommend that you do, because it really works. And then one other thing that works well, if say you want to build your Twitter audience and you want to try and get some build some relationships with influencers and get them to follow you, one tactic that I've found works pretty well is to find some influencers. You can use a bunch of different tools for this. One tool that I use is BuzzSumo. So if I come over to BuzzSumo and I just log in here quickly. Now I'm going to just hit the influencers tab, and I'm just going to type in a generic term related to my target audience or the content that I write about. Now it'll bring up a list of influencers in here that based on followers. One thing that I like to look through is I like to look at the number of followers they have and then look at their reply ratio. Now if they have a large number of followers and a pretty decent, like over 40 to 50% reply ratio is pretty good, what I will do is I will follow them and then I will add them to one of the Twitter lists that I have set up, and from there I'll start sharing some of their content and start to engage with them, and oftentimes some of these people will follow me back, and then I instantly have a power influencer following me that whenever they see my content, if they share it, I can drastically increase the reach of my content. And one final piece on that is if I come over and I click my lists button here, you can see here that I really kind of bait some of these people with the titles I have. So I say the best minds in SM social media, the top bloggers on Twitter, you know, and then I'll kind of stroke their ego a little bit. I'll say top bloggers on Twitter, a short list of the most influential bloggers on the planet. It's kind of a catchy title. Now if I come over here, I just created this one, you know, you've got Darren Rouse, Yara Starrick, Chris Drucker, people who have very large following, people who I want to build connections with, people who I want following me so they can share and amplify my content. So that's just one tactic that you can use to try and get some of these larger influencers to follow you on Twitter and share your content. So that is one strategy. And then another thing that you can do just quickly is you can use a tool like Twitter Feed to automate some of the content sharing you do. So you can add in the RSS feed of, say, Chris Drucker's blog, and then it'll automatically share his content every time. You'll automatically share his content every time he publishes a new post, and then you'll just add a suffix to the end, which I've got the tool open here just to quickly show you. I would just pull in an RSS feed, and then I would add his Twitter handle to the end of it. Then he would get notified every time I share his post, which in this case would be every time he publishes something new. And then you know, I'm continually getting in front of him and could build a relationship with him over time as I continually engage with his content. So that's just one additional tip that you can use. But as you can see, with a little setup and then 5 to 10 minutes a day, I was able to grow my Twitter audience by 1,048 followers and send over 1,500 people to my site from Twitter, and I did it all without spending a single penny. And this is something anyone can do in any industry. So there you have it. That is how I did with my Twitter experiment. I'm actually starting to do the same thing again for the next 30 days, so I will likely report back on that after the experiment's complete. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. I'll be sure to get back to you. Oh, and yeah, follow me on Twitter. Until the next video, have a good one, guys.